Hi guys!
Hello!
Welcome back! Thank you to everybody who sent in questions. As you can see, we got...
Just a few. Before we get right into the questions, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications if you want to see more of these videos.
A shout out to all of you who said, I have no question, just love for you.
Well, that's an easy one.
We see you, Cynthia, Kyrie, thank you so much. How do you deal with adversity? Any lessons over the past 12 months?
For me, I think it's always about trying to slow down and really sit back and think about, if you're facing this sort of adversity in that particular moment, okay, what is it you're trying to achieve? What is kind of causing that adversity, or what impact could that have on whatever you're trying to do? If it's really like something you can't get around, obviously identify ways, other particular paths. There's never just one path to a particular goal you have in life. It's about really trying to step back, think about exactly what you're trying to achieve, and then, identifying maybe other opportunities, other avenues you could look into.
So what you said relates more to professional life. When it comes to more personal life, of course, nobody finds it easy dealing with a difficult situation, especially in the moment that you're going through it.
Right.
A lot has happened to me personally this year, and I will tell you that one of the things that really helped me get over my adversities this year is having a very strong support system. And that's not to say that you must be married to be able to deal with it better, but I think sharing, and that's where either therapy comes into play, or just talking to friends or family. After all, a problem shared is half solved. So if you can talk to somebody who will be there for you and will support you, I think that those people stand to remind you of the good things that you already have, and that would help you deal with that difficult situation.
And I guess that comes back to actually another point, almost like a life motto that you have in general is about surrounding yourself with positive people, right?
Yeah.
So I think obviously then you can't start looking for a good friend, in the moment you're actually facing a challenge.
Yes.
So I think that, kind of highlights the importance that from the get-go, usually when you're in a good situation, actually, when you're in a good, mindset and a good environment, that's when you should try and really, really focus on finding the right people around you that, as you always say, lift you up, motivate you, and therefore can support you when you're a bit down.
Yes.
So,
wow.
The circle is closed.
Preach, David. What was your internship like? What were the challenges and how did you overcome them? I have a link to a separate YouTube video that I've made about my internship as a junior doctor in the hospital. I'm going to put the link down below, so maybe watch that. How were you able to convince your Nigerian parents to let you marry David?
Wow.
I also have a video about that. Link is going to be down below, so maybe watch that as well.
You're still interested in those things, eh?
Like seriously, we're almost 5 years married. Will you be having baby number 3? And
Number 3?
Yeah, well, there's literally almost 1,000 questions around baby number 3. I'm really surprised people are asking this because Noah is just 8 months old.
I know, it's crazy.
Guys, calm down.
For us at the moment, we want to focus on what we have right now. There's so many plans we have in the pipeline that we're already working on that you guys know of. So I think for us at the moment, we're at a stage where we just want to really enjoy what we have. We have those 2 amazing boys now that we're responsible for. Yeah. We have a lot of projects and plans as well. We have our jobs, as you know. So I think for the moment, at least, right, we want to take it easy, and, whatever the future holds. But that's kind of, I think, our state of mind right now. So we live in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. My state of mind personally is to achieve a balance.
Right, yes.
Yeah, just to get in a routine. We're very happy with 2 boys. Yeah. And if that's all we have, we're happy with 2 boys. So for all you womb watchers and all of you telling me congratulations on my YouTube channel, you can hold the congrats because there's no 3rd child coming anytime soon. How do you feel about dowry? I'm African and I've decided not to follow this greedy tradition.
Ouch.
You had to pay a dowry.
Well, yes. So I think, look, my opinion, obviously, not coming from that culture, it is from the get-go, of course, a strange concept. I think anybody who's not from a culture where this is normal, you can agree with that. It is strange. Yeah. But I think there were lots of lessons for me, I think, and even for my family members, by the way, who of course for whom it was even weirder than for me. I think so. The couple of lessons for me are of course, if you look at it like, okay, you're paying for somebody, of course, that's not how it is really intended in the first place, right? But the point behind it is, it's a symbolic gesture, mostly, about appreciating and thanking the family and the parents and everybody involved for raising that person, okay?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think, the first thing to kind of keep in mind. It's not really supposed to be a one-on-one transaction like in a shop or something, okay?
Yeah.
It's a gesture. Marrying somebody, of course, from a different culture, it is just simply part of, a level of respect. I mean, you can, agree or disagree with certain elements of another culture, but I think if you fully respect the person you're marrying, there's certain elements you also just have to, accept and agree with.
I do agree with most of what David has said. I think culture and tradition is a very beautiful thing, as long as people are not trying to exploit each other.
Yeah.
Or exploit people who are not from that culture.
Right.
So for me, the dowry is a sign, it's a symbol of appreciation towards the family of the bride, who have spent their whole life raising this beautiful flower who needs to be plucked from a garden and whatnot. But I do know that most recently there's a lot of these culture when it comes to bride prices that people are trying to inflate. Literally, their families of brides, including designer bags and gold sets and designer clothes that the family of the boy have to bring. And I think that is completely ridiculous on every level.
Culture overall, all over the world, has to be open to change. Right? I mean, every culture in the world, actually, whether it's European, Asian, African, Latin American, God knows what, have adjusted and adapted over time. So I think with that in mind, of course, there have been changes in that regard, and I think there will be more changes in the future, to be honest with you. And this I think it's a good thing. It's inevitable anyway. So yeah, I think culture will adjust and change slowly over time.
Are you liking your locks? Now, a lot of people keep asking me this question. People want me to do videos, tutorials, updates about my locks, and I've just not been in that frame of mind because I locked my hair a month after Noah was born, and I've pretty much just been winging it. Mostly because even things like hair day and hair weekend
don't exist.
That is a thing of the past. Okay?
They're gone.
With 2 children, there is no such thing as hair weekend or hair day. So finding the time to properly do my hair and even then go as far as recording it is a luxury that I've not been able to afford.
But to answer the question...
to answer the question, yes.
That's the short answer.
The short... Right? Okay, the short answer is yes, I've been liking my locks. Not particularly because of the way it looks, not because it looks like glamorous. No, like it suits me.
Yeah,
no,
you like it.
But let me tell you why I've been enjoying my locks, David. It's because of the convenience.
Right, but
like,
it looks good as well.
Yeah, I know. But personally speaking, okay, from my experience, I've been liking it because it's very convenient. Having 2 kids, waking up and not even thinking, maybe now I have to braid my hair, or now I have to twist and untwist, or now I have to glue my wig or something like that. It's really practical for my lifestyle and where I am at the moment. But yes, I am loving it, and hopefully I'm gonna roll out a tutorial about what I've been doing. There is a lot of questions around what happened to me in the last week, why was I in hospital, and what am I going through. So I'll keep that short to say I did have an emergency surgery, complications afterwards, needed blood transfusions, and it was just a very, very bad situation. But hopefully I'll make a separate video to talk to you in more detail about what I've been going through and why I considered this year particularly difficult.
Yeah, it wasn't easy at times, but as you can see, she made it through. She's a fighter, as we all know, and I would say very close to being back to your absolute normal.
Yes. Another frequently asked question is around travel. If you've been following us, you know that we travel a lot anyway, but particularly this year, we've had more trips coming up, and people want to know, did you set out to be a travel influencer? Did you travel for the love of it? And how did you manage with kids?
Yeah, it was a bit crazy this year, wasn't it? From like England to Nigeria to Kenya to Dubai. I had to go to South Africa in between, then we went to Mauritius. I mean, it's been a very, very busy and crazy year.
To answer the question, simply put, we did not set out to be travel influencers, no.
Right.
The fact that we live away from both families, as you know, I am originally Nigerian and David is originally German. So the fact that his family is in Germany, my family is in Nigeria, means that once a year there is a flight to Germany and a flight to Nigeria, because we have to see both our families. So that's what even gets us on planes to begin with.
Another reason is that I'm responsible for Sub-Saharan Africa at my job. So roughly every 2 to 3 months or so at least, I'm actually on a plane somewhere down south to the continent. So that obviously is another element, why we tend to then maybe sometimes combine some of these trips.
And then you factor in the family holiday that we'd love to have, you know, to get a bit of downtime and get the kids to somewhere really warm and fun. And that would happen once or twice a year. So when you combine all of these trips, we realize that once every 3 months we're on a plane somewhere. And obviously, because we are, content creators and we record all of our travel and put it up on YouTube, then we have brands like airlines or hotel chains or tourism boards reaching out to us saying we would love a collaboration. So that's kind of how we entered this niche, if I'd say, this family travel vloggers or bloggers.
And it's actually very exciting, the kind of opportunities that came our way this year. It's been really consistently growing over the last, 4 years, close to 5 years soon. So that's very exciting, actually. And, if there's a great opportunity, and as Adanna said, we can go combine it with all these other elements, I mean, we just said, why not? I mean, it's a great opportunity.
Actually, you talked about your job, but then if I remember Medics Abroad,
yes, true.
Medics Abroad is covering clinical placements for doctors and medics in Africa. So I'm going to have to be making a lot of trips to Africa come next year for business development. So really, we're going to be traveling a lot more, and most of it is going to be work, personal, and then a few of it is going to be brand collaborations.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions around what is your typical day like. At the moment, I'm on maternity leave. So a typical day for us would be wake up, you take Kian to creche.
Right.
I'm at home with Noah. Do all the mommy stuff. Sometimes we go for like a mommy baby class. Sometimes I'm at home with him, entertaining him. Go through his schedule. When he naps, that's when I work, respond to emails. And whatnot. And then I'm
at work at that time.
You're at work at that time. I think people want to know, someone specifically asked, so how do you then manage to do everything, like cook, clean, do house chores, do XYZ? The truth of the matter is I don't do all of it by myself. I get help where I need. David gets back, and of course, being a feminist, doesn't expect his dinner to be ready.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
so what's coming now?
He gets back and he either cooks dinner, but most of the time I cook dinner because of the time, that the kids will have dinner and I'm at home. I cook the dinner, but that doesn't happen every night.
And in terms of cleaning, I think, what is it, 2 weeks or so?
Yeah.
We're also getting actually a cleaner, of course, in who helps us, which makes a lot of sense. There are some things you just can't do.
I definitely struggled a lot more when I had Kian because I was a first-time mom and I didn't really know the advantages of asking for help, also because my family and David's family were not around. So I felt responsible, let's just say, for doing all of these things. And I think that's a guilt that women feel just naturally anyway. But slowly, getting support from David and realizing, okay, this is a partnership. You're a parent as much as I am. So it's not my responsibility to do everything. And accepting help, that's how we manage to do everything. They say good leadership is good delegation, right? So if I'm able to say, well, you help me with this, you help me with this, you help me with this, it makes it look like I have everything together, but that doesn't mean I physically do everything by myself.
True.
How do you find time to vlog with such busy careers?
It's definitely not easy. It was much easier with Kian, on weekends to vlog and then even find time to edit because the other person could watch him.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, that's definitely very different now with the two kids, very challenging. But again, I mean, number one, I would say it still comes down to working closely together, communicating, and scheduling, of course, planning a little bit. I mean, you know, you need to be clear what's happening during the week, what you're trying to do maybe, and then really make sure you find the time for it and kind of, you know, work together on that.
Yeah.
Having said that, what we've also realized this year and discussed is that ultimately posting on a weekend and recording a lot of stuff in the week, that doesn't quite work so well, at least with our current schedule.
We've been struggling.
Struggling,
as you guys
exactly.
know.
Yes.
Most of the time, in the last few months, we've had to release our videos on Mondays.
Sometimes on Mondays, exactly. And so it's not easy, and especially considering, you know, that next year is going to be so much busier even for us, you know, especially with Adanna going back to full-time work and everything. So what we've decided is from next year, from January onwards, we're going to release our videos on Thursdays, not on Sundays. And don't worry, if you know, we're gonna mention that again before the new year. But just to let you already know, first ones to know that from next year on, we're gonna actually publish our videos on Thursdays instead of Sundays, because that allows us just to, you know, focus on the weekends on our family, on the content creation, and then during the week we can edit it in the evening, so that by Thursday the videos are ready. So we hope that will give us more time and make sure that you always get your videos on time.
We've touched on this briefly, but there's still a lot of questions about how we manage our time between content creation, being professionals, our kids. As my father always says, something has to give, right? You have to make sacrifices. And for us, we prioritize and we make use of our time well. And the sacrifice is less sleep, but I understand that it's a phase and it's something that you need to do. So for example, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, that's when we get some time to maybe talk about the day, catch up, maybe have a glass of wine. But then after that, you know, when the office working, I find that my most productive hours is between 9 p.m. and about 2 a.m.
Which is not good.
Which is not good, because then I go to bed and then at 6 o'clock the kids are are awake. But that's the time where I get uninterrupted work done, and that's how we're able to manage it. Because if I actually went to sleep and didn't sacrifice any sleep, then of course I'm not going to have the time to achieve all the things that we're doing.
No, you really have to prioritize and also be very honest to yourself what's important to you. Do you guys argue, and what do you argue about the most? Well, needless to say, of course we argue. I mean, everybody always forgets, you know, what you guys see is not 100% of our lives, and obviously we argue. It's just one of those things, like, you know, you're not going to start putting a camera into each other's faces, you know, when you're arguing. So,
like,
you know,
no,
tell them what you just said. Obviously not. So obviously we argue. I don't want anybody to believe, you know, that there's any couple out there that doesn't have a tough time, that doesn't argue, that doesn't fight. You know, that is utterly untrue if anybody says that. So yes, we argue.
We bicker, according to Helen.
We bicker, right?
Helen says, you guys bicker. You guys bicker.
Very normal and very good, by the way. I generally think sometimes that's actually a good thing, right? I mean, if you don't know how to argue with somebody, then you don't really know the person. I believe. What do we argue the most about? In the beginning, of course, with the kids or something, having kids, of course, that...
I was gonna say...
No, that of course took a lot of maybe adjustment. I mean, in as much as we've talked a lot about it up front, it's always different when a kid is actually there.
As much as we admit that we argue and bicker,
of course,
we don't do it a lot.
No,
we don't do it a lot, but we do argue. And if I'm to think, most recently,
right,
a lot of the argument is mostly surrounding parenting.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Kian is a child born out of my image. He is so stubborn. Okay. Oh my goodness, that boy is very stubborn. And I find sometimes that you're not as strict with him. Yeah, because he's such a daddy's boy, and you might feel like, oh, I don't want to, yell at him or discipline him. And I'm like, David, no, you need to be stricter. You need to be stronger. So like we bicker about that. Yeah. But the one thing that's really helped our relationship, and this was early on from the beginning of our dating, we promised ourselves not to go to bed and wake up angry.
Oh yeah.
Actually, not to go to bed angry at each other. I'm probably misquoting it, but I think there is something in the Bible that says, "Do not let the sun rise on your anger." But that being said, I know, okay, I could count times that I have gone to bed still mad. I'm like, nope, I am not speaking to him.
Especially in the beginning, though, I have to say. I think it was more difficult for you a little bit. a lot of times, when I was like, come on, let's talk about this, let's get this out of the way. You're like, I'm sleeping. I'm not talking to you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, so I struggled with that
all good.
very early on, but now, no.
She sees the benefit now.
Now I see the benefit. Like, I just don't know how two people can live in a house and like just go hours or days not speaking to each other, especially where there are kids involved. It just really makes everything so awkward. We go to bed, we wake up, and a morning kiss from your stinky mouth makes it all go away.
Yes.
A lot of you want to know about my career in medicine. Are you going back to work, Adanna? When are you going back to work? Are you still interested in surgery? Are you sticking to emergency medicine? Okay, I'm just gonna give a brief breakdown. So, when people say, are you going back to work? It makes me feel like I've not been working. Honestly, I have been working the whole year. So technically I'm back at work, especially with medics abroad, traveling to Kenya twice, business development, taking students, working in the hospital there. That is work for me. But I know that a lot of you want to know, when am I going back to my hospital medicine, working my regular 9 to 5? It's not really 9 to 5 in medicine, to be honest. But, I've been on maternity leave, as you know, with Noah, and I am going back to hospital medicine in January. That being said, I'm in the process of trying to negotiate my contract to have more flexible working hours. Normally in medicine, you find that nursing schedules are more flexible with part-time work. You don't really get that with doctors, especially if you're on a training scheme. So, for those of you who understand the medical system, I have not joined a training scheme as of yet. Because since graduation, since finishing my intern year, doing my senior house officer year, I've taken breaks in between having kids, setting up a business. So I intentionally did not join a training scheme because I was torn between, should I continue in surgery given the crazy schedule and having kids, or should I go into emergency medicine? And I did go into emergency medicine for a bit. I loved it, but my passion is still with surgery. That being said, I am going back to hospital work in January. It's most likely going to be a surgical position, and it is most likely going to be part-time, ideally 2 to 3 days a week, so that I can get the rest of the week to focus on medics abroad.
So we hope you found that interesting, and hopefully a lot of you got your questions answered right now.
Yeah, of course, it was impossible to go through even half of these questions, guys, and that will motivate us to most likely do a live Q&A.
That will be actually very interesting. We were talking about this the other day, so we're thinking about maybe soon, who knows, maybe around Christmas, a little Christmas present, who knows, to do an actual live session, live Q&A with you guys.
Yeah.
But we will let you know about that later. We obviously wish you now some great next few days preparing for Christmas. We are super excited. We might actually be doing a couple of things this afternoon.
Yeah.
So we are very excited. We're getting to the Christmassy spirit slowly, and excited obviously for Kian's, we believe, first kind of proper Christmas, where he kind of, I think, realizes things a bit more, and we're very excited about all the presents. Exactly, yes. Make sure, of course, you like that video, share it if you want, and again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do make sure you subscribe right now. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye.